Hey guys, this is Jarryd, bassist from Grey Hearts Red, and I'm here to do a little bass rig rundown. So, start with the bass I use. It's actually a modified Yamaha RBX 375. It's been a workhorse for me for years. It's one of the first basses I ever bought. Does great for me. I absolutely love it, actually. So what I did though to modify it was I actually had pickups, the original pickups in here. Unfortunately stopped working. So for ages I just sat there not doing anything, and then kicked off this band, and I wanted to write a 5-string but didn't have one at the time. Well, I did, but I didn't. So I bought a new pickup. It's an EMG. I can't remember the model number. It's got a push-pull pot for single coil and humbucking, and yeah, so I just replaced that. And then the other thing I do as well is I tune my bass differently. So for each string, it's a different tuning to what a normal 5-string is. So I'm going to leave you guys to guess what that tuning is, because I'm fun like that. And then obviously I run into a pedal board. So what I do with my pedal board is I run, obviously from the bass, I run into this compressor sustainer here, which is a Boss CS3, as you can easily see. Yeah, I don't use this very often. I only use it in 2 songs actually. I use it at the end of Summer Song when we go into that real mellow, reverbery sound where, Ryan jams on the drums and we all come together, and that just boosts my volume and for that in a way. And then I use it for Slave to No One, which is the one that has the... Probably would have been better if I had that through the amp, but I don't. So yeah, that's all I use that one for. Then we run into this volume pedal here. This is a Dunlop Volume X. Yeah, it's really just, I like volume pedals. I use one section I use a swell, and the other times I use it I just kick it off so my signal just stops when we stop abruptly. This has a tuner out, so I run into the tuner, which is a TC Electronic Polytune 2. It tunes my bass. That's all it is. I then run, obviously out of the output, into this Joyo PXL4. It literally is just a channel switching sort of. It's like a MIDI controller, but there's no MIDI involved, so it's literally just like an analog version of a MIDI controller, just so I can control from going, from these 2 overdrives to my delay and my reverb without having to do the pedal dance. That's purely what that is for. And so it has 4 send and returns in that. And it's pure, it's true bypass, and then obviously that goes out into my amp. But what that does is it has many different banks, so I can have up to 8 banks, and then there's 2 switches per bank, and so as you can see that goes from there, and then they light up. So my first send, I go to this bass soul food from Electric Harmonics. This is my it's a lighter overdrive, that I use at the start of Evoke, which is our second single. In the very start of that, with my delay and reverb, I use that together. Then we have this is the Dark Glass Microtube B3K. So what that is that's my that's my real heavy gritty sound. It's the main sound I kind of use, as you would probably know if you've been to a gig. So the heavy gritty dirty sound comes from that, and every now and then I'll use both together, which I do in both our singles that are out, in Apathy and Evoke. So that gives me that little bit extra grit together when they put them together. But yeah, that's my main sound, and I run that pretty much as is, as you can see, all the time. Then we run out of line 3, I think, whatever they call it, into this delay. This actually is just recently been switched out. I used to have, here it is, the Aquapus in there from Way Huge, but I decided to switch it out, and it's much better on this one. So this is the TC Electronic Goss Tape Echo, so it's a bit of a tape echo, and it's just got this really, really cool sound to it that I absolutely love. So yeah, that's why that's in there. And then obviously I run into this last one, which is the Soundblocks 2, which is a reverb. It has it's a multiple reverb, so it's got like plate reverbs, metal box, echoes, whatever else. I only use it on the E-Dome just because I like that sound the best, and it gives me consistency between the two sounds. So I have 1 and 2. So 1 I use for Evoke in the intro and stuff like that, and then I use number 2 for pretty much everything else. It's basically just higher mixed, more time, like longer reverb than number 1, so it gives me that consistency between the two different sounds. And yeah, I might mess around with that as we're playing as well, and then obviously we come out of that back into this, and then this comes out, and I then run into, may have to get some close-ups later, but I run into a TC Electronic BH250. It's a little small, really lightweight Class D amplifier. Real simple, has a great tone, sounds great, absolutely love it. I then run into a Fender Rumble 210, which is the version 3, I believe, is a really lightweight cab, which I really like. And on this main camera you can't see it too well, but I also at the moment I'm running a Eden 112 XLT. So them together gives a nice real fat punchy tone, and they're both really lightweight. Everything's lightweight because I'm getting old and I don't like to break my back. So that's my rig. That's how I set it up. Suppose I could unmute it, give it a bit of a sound, so it's kind of what it sounds clean. And that probably destroyed the mic, so I'm going to turn it down. There you go. So that's kind of that's my clean sound, and then I will quite often run with just the microtubes. Probably should have done this as we were doing it, but whatever. Love it when it does that, not really. It's into the delays. So for Evoke, this is my kind of my intro tone. If I put it on the right one. Which has a really cool sound to it, just kind of gives a bit of atmosphere and all that sort of jazz. And then this is what the 2 overdrives together sound like. Gives us just that little bit extra punch compared to if I played it just with the 1. Which gives you a bit of an idea. The one other iteration that I use it in is, just that bit of sound, and then we got the reverbs together to give you with the punch up of that. And it gives you a bit of an idea of what my sounds are and everything like that. I probably should have turned the snare rattle off, but I didn't. So there we go. Have any questions, feel free to shoot in the comments and whatever else, wherever we put this and all that good stuff. So thanks for watching.